Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction from March Comes in Like a Lion, chapter 178. When we last left our heroes, a visit from the Kawamoto's elderly neighbor turns into a deep meditation on growing older, on losing the home that you've built up for decades, and eventually a statement of determination on Akari's part for her and Hina to take over Mikazuki-do and keep the store running for the next generation. As Grandpa Someji kind of looks at taking out a loan to buy the property next door. And yeah, it was kind of distinctly detached from the first part of Winter Scent. So we'll see how part 3 kind of fits into this story. So that being said, let's jump right on into chapter 178, Winter Scent Part 3. We continue our ongoing story of Noidome going for a run as he bows in front of this buff guy. You can tell by his looks he's serious. And just then, so we open with the Kawamoto's aunt, who's just like barged into the store. I've heard the news. Auntie Misaki? Quite a fascinating proposition. I figured I would get in on the act as well. I'm guessing this is going to be about what we talked about last chapter. Connecting two buildings to make a home-style downtown traditional sweet shop run by two close sisters. Knowing Akari-san, we managed prudently and wisely. After surviving in Ginza for a quarter of a century, my predictions are never wrong. And so... Oh, so she's also just, like, buying some boxes of sweets while she says all this. And so Meji's just kind of focused on the work. 24-pack boxes cost 5,500 yen, and 4 boxes comes to 22,000 yen. And then we see, out of a speech bubble, he says, "What do you think you're doing just wrapping things up while you're talking? Don't think you can pull the wool over these old eyes?" Okay, not entirely. So she was trying to pull some kind of like jokingly pulling some kind of scam on him, I think. Darn, you caught me. Make the receipt out to Misaki. Anyhow, you two, is there perhaps something or someone quite important that you forgot about? She kind of leans over the counter at Someji and Akari. Huh? Someone important? And then all of a sudden they remember Ray. Sounds like you've got it. That boy is both the candidate to be Hina's husband and the candidate for future Meijin. We've got him, don't we? And then Akari kind of blushing. But keep in mind, the husband thing is purely perspective. Hina's still only in the first year of high school. She's not going to get married for a long, long time. Until then, he's a stranger. I mean, I think at this point, he's long past being a stranger, Someji. They're still both kids. However, we see an image of Hina, as I think it's Someji who says, they're still both kids. However unlikely it may seem now, we can't be sure they won't change their minds at some point. And if money's involved at that point, they won't be able to break up even if they want to, right? I want to leave my Hina the choice to say, actually, I don't think so after all. And so we see that's actually a really considerate thing, that like, if Ray is financially embroiled in the plan to buy up the other property, it's kind of much harder for him to leave if something happens to his and Hina's relationship. And Misaki looks away. Fair point. Picking from this lineup is too much of a burden for a first-year high school student. We have this image of like joint management, collateral loan, real estate, marriage. I can't quite tell what the point of that is. It's definitely the lineup Misaki refers to, but I don't quite get. I don't know. Anyway, Akari then says, "Grandpa, Auntie, let's calm down and work out how to go about this. Getting help from Kiriyama-kun would make things a lot more secure, but it's a dream that won't come true without some degree of relying on someone else. The whole plan is somewhat of a stretch for us to begin with. We've decided that Hina and I will watch over Mikazuki-do, so in the worst case scenario, it'll be just the two of us going the rest of the way. I think we need to find a course of action with that in mind." I'm curious though. I think it's honestly really nice that they are not counting Momo in here. You know, Momo being like a 5-year-old would probably just say, yeah, she wants to keep things going the way she's always known. But she's also a child. And like they kind of said with Ray, they want to give Momo the option to get out if that's what she wants. But we see her kind of sensible answer brings tears to both Someji and Misaki's eyes. And Someji says, "That's our Akari. I knew I could count on you for the third generation of Mikazuki-do. You never cease to impress me." Misaki, like, brings a handkerchief to her eyes. "If Mihoko and Grandma heard this, I'm sure they'd believe the shop was in good hands." And we see an image of the two of them. They're like, I don't know what the term for it is, but like their kind of in-house shrine. The image from that. Um, and Someji says, "This is a very serious matter for Mikazuki-do. If we set up a plan where we're relying on the boy, it'd be like he was just a source of revenue for the shop. It just wouldn't sit right. The future is something you ought to grab hold of. The future is something there's so many little apostrophes and like dialect things there that I'm kind of tripping over it. The future is something you gotta grab hold of with your own two hands." Misaki smiles. "I suppose you're right. We can't depend on Hina and Kiriyama-kun's future in a monetary form like that. And we don't want them to set aside their pure feelings, do we?" And Akari smiles. "Grandpa, Auntie, I'm sure we'll find a good method somewhere." "Yes, a good method." Hold on a second. Top Shane! That's not the plan! Oh no! And Someji lights up. "My god, you're a genius! This is it! Hey, knock it off, you two! You're gonna kill Kiriyama-kun at this rate." I mean, to be fair, me personally, I've always kind of seen a bit of an adoption vibe from Ray's relationship with the Kawamotos, even if that's very much not the route the series has gone with the characters. Um, Wait, what did that mean? My young son could become Meijin someday? Whoa! And Mitsuki blushing. "Hold on a minute. That means I could have a Meijin as a little brother. I had my reservations when I said it. This might be one of the best ideas I've ever had." And Akari has completely lost control of the conversation. "Hey, hold on, you two. Help me, Mom. Grandma." Meanwhile, Kiriyama, who was unaware his role had nearly changed from future grandson to just a source of revenue. And we see Kiriyama with the senpai was instead wholly focused on researching the Nikaidou versus Shigeta match. And so we see Ray, who's moving some pieces on a shogi board. So, in a strategy of opposing Central Hisha, Shigeta-san's Gyoku really gets moving first left, then right. And I think this is, what's his face, Nobidome's teacher, whose name I can't remember, from the Path arc, I think. You know the one. The guy. He's the guy with the name. You know who I mean. I'm not sure I get it. And then Shimada adds on, Nikaido also disregards strategy to go for brute force on making an Uma, but then Shigeta launched a major counterattack with the head of the Gyoku. And then Smith adds on, they both really aren't calculating much about the gain and loss of material, are they? A lot of dialogue here. Need some water. This game is utter chaos. Do people normally play shogi like this in major tournaments? Hold on. Sorry, I accidentally went back a chapter because I don't quite understand how manga decks work sometimes. Where was I? Oh, okay, so then we just go right back to... We have that little... It's like, that was just a short little aside. I thought that was going to be a turning point in the chapter as we kind of, split down the middle. One with the Kawamoto drama and then back to the shogi tournaments. But no, we're back with the Kawamotos. Well, this is Someji. Jokes aside, I think it'd be best if the boy doesn't hear about this yet. He's a serious person. If he catches wind of this, I'm sure he'll say, I want to help in any way I can, and start charging straight ahead. And we have this image of Ray atop a tower of shogi boards, surrounded by white birds. But if you strain yourself trying to win, you start spinning your wheels. If you're spinning your wheels too long, you start getting hasty. Start getting hasty, and those wins start slipping away. We don't want the boys' pace or balance and whatnot to get all thrown out of whack. I mean, yeah. I can see what he means. Because if Ray wants to commit to this financially, he has to win, and then that could lead to all of this happening. Right. But there's lots of different types of folks out there. You got the type who gets the adrenaline pumping when they get a little pressure on them, and then there's the type who thrive the most without it. Misaki says, "I wonder which one Kiriyama-kun is." I'm pretty sure he's the latter there. Then, of course, there's the type that switches from one to the other again and again all throughout their life, where sometimes you grow better when the pressure's on, and sometimes you grow better when it's off. Life seems short, but it's pretty long. And then Akari chimes in, "Whatever we end up doing, it looks like it'll take a bit more time until we make up our minds. So let's just mull it over between us three adults. That means not telling Hina either, okay?" And so Meiji adds, "You're right on that one. If we tell Hina about it, then you can bet your bottom dollar she'll rope the boy into it and it'll turn into a real hullabaloo." He has this whole image of how Hina would react. "Kya? Well, what? I don't believe it. That's so amazing. I want to open up the new shop right away." And then she turns right to Ray, who already has a calculator in hand. "We're for sure buying it. I'm going to work super duper hard. Don't you think it's amazing, Kiriyama-kun? We need to think of a menu right away. Oh, I wish I could graduate from school next week. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to work so hard." And so Meiji just like in shock. I can see it already. Okay, let's keep it a secret from them both for a while. Oh, I know. I'll try doing some calculating of the equipment costs and operating costs. I'm a bit interested myself. I know a tax accountant I can talk to about it. I'm not quite sure. I think the first bit is Akari. I'm not quite sure who says either of the other three speech bubbles there. But it's not really important, as we then come back to the Shogi Association. Whew, now that was a fascinating game. It really was incredible. Especially because none of it happened to me. That's a Smith line if I've ever seen one. We have this image of Shigeta and Nikaidou as two sumo wrestlers. Like normally in standard play, there's a story, isn't there? Like kind of one connecting narrative? There was nothing like that here. Some point along the way there, it was just non-existent. It ended up coming down to a pure contest of strength. I sure as hell would never want to play a match like that. Who won? It better be Nikaidou, because I love my boy. My boy needs to win. I need a Kiriyama versus Nikaidou, especially if, like I've kind of been suggesting all through Winter Scent so far, if Winter Scent is kind of signaling a movement towards a definitive ending to the series, then I need some more Nikaidou time. I love my boy so much. He deserves the world. Anyway, the curtain closed on the match in the sumo hall, where the audience threw their seat pillows into the ring. That part was imaginary. With Nikaidou as the victor. That's my boy. Translator note, in sumo, members of the audience throw seat pillows towards the ring when a high-ranking yokozuna is upset by a lower-ranked wrestler. Okay. That's a random thing. And then Smith says, "Yeah, this reaffirmed my opinion of never wanting to play a game of shogi like that. Like, ever. What about you, Kiriyama? Also, though, one thing about the sumo metaphor there is that I thought Nikaidou was the higher-ranked player. Let me see if we can go back to part 1, where they have that little chart. See if I can find something there real fast. I'm not going to take too long if I can't find it. Yeah, because it looks like on page 9 of 176, Shigeta was the Group 6 winner, Nikaidou was the Group 5 winner, and then the winner of that match goes to play Kiriyama, the Group 4 winner. So I assume the Group 5 winner would just be better than Group 6, or is presumed better than Group 6. So I don't think it's really much of an upset, as the metaphor kind of implies. But I also might just be looking way too much into it. Who knows? Anyway. Never wanting to play a game of shogi like that. Like, ever. What about you, Kiriyama? And Kiriyama just pushes his glasses up. Honestly, I was rather moved. Huh? You were laughing up a storm back there, weren't you? No, I was emotionally moved by it. I think I want to play through it again when I get home. You what? Are you Wait, are you being sarcastic? No, absolutely not. I'm completely serious. And then I think this is Shimada, maybe. Kiriyama-kun, I couldn't help but having noticed this, but this happens a lot with you, doesn't it? And so, in a totally non-sarcastic manner, Kiriyama really did replay the game at home. So here Nikaido, and we see him back at home, looking at like the list of what happened and his own shogi board. Here Nikaido allows his O and he should be forked. Wait, what? That doesn't what? Wait. Did he just read so far ahead he thought this was the best move? I can't help but look at this and think it was just a mistake in the heat of the moment. That's a Nikaido thing, I think. No, it couldn't. But it's kind of, a fascinating situation, damn it. And his heart was bursting with the burning desire to ask Nikaido, what were you really planning to do at this point at the end here? And hear about what happened on the board in great detail the next chance he got. To be continued. Okay. So yeah, next chapter is supposed to be according to the scanlators in 2 weeks. No break this time. And yeah, this was, I will say, not as interesting, I'll say, as last time. It's a lot of this chapter is just sort of a continuation of what the first 2 parts set up, especially with the main focus of the chapter, discussions about the second shop. The realization that it kind of does have to just be the adults for now, who focus on this, because Ray will absolutely just try to help out. And if Ray helps out, it could kind of fuck him over. And it's a nice, kind of mature conversation to be had. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good kind of moment for not just seeing the Kawamoto's more mature perspectives on Ray, but also just watching, the adults kind of talk about their financial problems, I guess. And then we get a little bit of the shogi gang, as we find out that it will be my boy Harunobu Nikaido playing Ray in the next match. And yeah, honestly, I'm kind of excited for that. I'm a big Nikaido fan, and Nikaido has gotten very little to do since I started reviewing this series about 2 years ago. So I need my boy to have some screen time, and I'm hoping that we get that match sooner rather than later. But yeah, this is very much just kind of a continuation of what's already happened. Sort of, we're still in very, very early stages for that second building, though I do kind of think that second building and the official passing of the torch from Somaji to Akari and Hina will kind of signify the end of the series. That and the wrapping up of this Shishio tournament. I do really, seeing how these 2 storylines are kind of going, it really does make me think that we are kind of moving towards a series end. Though I may be wrong. I could very well be wrong. I'm just kind of guesstimating here. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I really enjoyed the chapter. I don't think it was quite as good as last time, but last time was a really high bar to clear. And it did enough kind of continuing the story of the second building and getting me hyped for that match with Nikaido. I love my boy. I just adore my pure son. I am so happy for him to show up. And yeah, that's all I gotta say for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!